ask both of y'all a question? Because, Kevin, you said this when he was drafted, that his ceiling might have been so high and that there might be other players that could grow into better players than Luka at the time. Now, that's still like he's been the dude since he got here.
And it appears that's not going to happen.
Is there more room for him to grow to get better? Are we still in places where he can be better, or was last season like that's probably the best we're going to get out of him?
Way better.
I think he can get way better too, because I think about it, and I'm not trying to agitate people with this comparison, so just hear me out for a second. I think you look at the Jordan principle here, all right? So you go back to Michael Jordan's first several years in the league. I know the injury aside. First several years in the league, he was a scoring machine and just dominating and already starting to look like he had the elements of being a good defender. And people respected that. And people feared him in the NBA. But what really made them fear him is when you saw that he could do this at a level where it mattered. Because Jordan was doing this in a lot of games where it doesn't really matter. And honestly, with all due respect to the Mavericks and Luka, I get the playoff series against the Clippers, but a lot of this stuff, they're in games that don't really matter. Right. And so I think that's where the perception could change. If you see that he can do this on the big stage, and I don't mean the first round of the playoffs, I mean the big stages of the NBA, I think that's where you could see how high he really could go.
Okay.
But also, like, when do you get there? What can he do to get there? What can his team do to get there that he has no control over?
Right. And I won't talk about his teammates. We've gone over that his teammates are not good enough. I'll talk about Corey. He turns the ball over way too much and makes some bad decisions with the basketball. He takes some really bad shots where you're like, what the hell, Luka? Like, we don't need that right now. And he's just checking himself because he can make it, but it doesn't mean you should take that shot right now.
Okay.
And so bad turnovers, bad shot selection, horrible free throw shooter. For his position, for his ability to shoot the basketball, like, Shaq was pathetic. I can give Shaq a little bit of a break for his size and what he did, because most of the time, all of his shots came within 6 feet of the basket.
Right,
Wouldn't you agree with me, Kevin, on that? Like,
yes.
I mean, Shaq's living around the basket, so now that becomes a really far shot. He never took a shot that far in the game, only at the free throw line.
One missed three-pointer in his career. Yeah. Like, he had one missed three-pointer.
Luka's taking 30-footers with ease, and then you put him 15 feet at the free throw line with no pressure, and it's like a 50-50 proposition. And so that's where he can get a lot better. I think he has gotten a little bit better defensively. He can keep improving defensively.
Okay.
I think that his IQ is through the roof, but his hustle lacks at times because, one, we just talked about it, he might be out of shape. And then two, he gets so upset, whether it's with himself or with the ref, that then he doesn't get back on defense where he's in position to get back. I get when it's a breakaway 2-on-1 and you can't affect it. Just let him dunk it. Don't waste your energy. There's a lot of times, Kevin, wouldn't you agree that, hey, there's a turnover and they get the ball on the baseline and he's at the free throw line where he turned the ball over and he just stops playing basketball.
Exactly. And that is infuriating because it used to be just the John with the refs, but you've seen that as well. That's
like, I turned it over, I quit. You guys can have a free two. I'll get the ball back and see what I can do next. So I think there's a lot of improvement. It's maturity, it's turnovers, it's free throws, it's shot selection. So I believe there's a lot he can get better at. And I think we all have to remember this. He should be a senior in college. Let that sink in. He should be a senior in college. Grant Hill wasn't in the NBA at this point. Michael Jordan was a rookie in the NBA at this point. And I know things have changed, but
most
he's
players
22.
don't make it to their senior year, though. Like
I'm kind of with Corey here, Mike. I hear your point. I just generationally we've gotten away from that, and it is unfortunate how quick we think players have developed into what they're going to be for good. Like, if you would have told me 3 years ago that Jaylen Brown might surpass Jason Tatum, I'd have been like, ha ha, surely you jest. But, like, it looks like maybe that could be the case.